Hey y'all, so after yesterday, I'm really excited to get back into this and that He restores our soul, my life, myself. And so, of course, in the beginning, the Garden of Eden was God's original intent for mankind. You know, He gave us free will, free choice, and well, we look where that got us, right? But not wanting to live without us or where He could not be in relationship with us, He of course sent Jesus to restore us in a right standing, to reconcile us back to Himself, so that, you know, it says in the Word that Adam and Eve, they walked with God in the cool of the day, that you and I could walk with God in the cool of the day, or in the heat of the day, or whenever, but that we would have unhindered access to God. And even, well, let's just go there for just a second. In Hebrews 4:16, and we read this a lot, but let us then fearlessly and confidently and boldly draw near to the throne of grace. Though you probably are familiar, you've heard it say, let us come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. The Amplified Classic says, let us then fearlessly and confidently and boldly draw near to the throne of grace, the throne of God's unmerited favor towards us, that we may receive mercy for our failures and find grace to help in good time for every need, appropriate and well-timed help coming just when we need it. And why is that? Because we have a high priest, Jesus. Because of Jesus' death and resurrection on the cross, we have been restored to right standing with God. Our souls have been restored. And I just so love that. And so our spirit man becomes born again, and we are now connected with God, and our soul is restored. Our mind, will, and emotions, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but you know, Adam and Eve, having been connected to God, knew no bad, knew no evil, and so the moment that they sinned, they disobeyed God, that they chose against His direction, it was like a flood of death came in, sin, darkness. It was like I've heard messages titled, you know, the day the lights went out, and that's truly what it was. And we talked about in our Women in the Word meeting this past was last week, having eyes to see. Well, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened after they ate the fruit, but they weren't blind before then. And so really this flood, that their eyes were opened and flooded with darkness, is what it was. They could no longer see the spirit realm of things. They could not see what they saw before. What they experienced after their eyes were open was shame. They hid, fear, you know, all of those things. And that was not God's original intent for mankind. So when He restored my soul, He took away the shame, fear, and so He has brought us back to a previous state, custom, or situation. He's repaired us and returned us to our original condition, our souls to that original condition, and that He's put us again in possession of something. And what is it that He's put us in possession of? Because I'm telling you right now, I do not live physically in the Garden of Eden. Ooh, there are circumstances in this life that are not perfect, because of course we live in a fallen world, and the Garden of Eden, it's not physically outside my door. And I don't mean that I love where I live. I'm very content. I'm very happy. I have no frustration or upset, but it's still, you know, a fallen world. And so things happen that we have to stand in faith against, that we have to believe and pray for, that we have to speak the word over. So it's not that we are tangibly living in the physical Garden of Eden, but relationally between us and God, once we have made Jesus Christ Lord of our lives, we are back into that unbroken relationship and fellowship with the Father. that we are connected to him once again. There is uninhibited access to God. Just like that Hebrews 4:16 said, that we can come fearlessly and boldly before the throne of grace. That goodness of God. And what else did it say? The Amplified had 3 descriptive words: fearlessly, confidently, and boldly. That's how he says to come to the throne room of God. And that is not at all how Adam and Eve felt in Genesis 3. He says, I heard you were coming, and I hid because I was naked and afraid. So they felt shame and fear. And they hid from God because of shame and fear. Well, now that he has restored us and reconciled us and put us back in right standing with God the Father, again, those who have submitted their lives to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, when we recognize that without him we are sinners and our nature is not innately good, once we have recognized our need for Jesus, then he says, come fearlessly, confidently, and boldly to the throne of God. That throne of grace. Oh, how wonderful that is. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.